Hello, and thanks for coming to the electronic site visit mini training here at the Food Bank of the Southern Tier. I am recording this live, so if you could hold any questions until we get to the end, I will open it up for any comments, questions, and concerns. Thanks. What we're going to cover today is a little bit of prehistory up until this point, what the process going forward is going to look like, this new thing called reports, a bit of an idea of the timeline that our programs and partnerships coordinators will be working under. And then I'll take you in and actually show you what some of these reports and what the agency or partner's responsibility of the new site visit process is going to look like. And then we'll go ahead and wrap it up, where hopefully there'll be some little gems of knowledge and best practices that might be shared out. All right, so pre-2023, and I'm going to pretend that we will have all 2023 site visits, even if they've taken place already up until now, in an electronic form, because what we will be doing is taking those paper documents from the beginning of 2023 and putting them into this new electronic process. So all of 2023 will be electronic, even if at the beginning of the year, a programs or partnerships coordinator came out and you signed off on a paper document. So roughly the process was kind of like an agency or a partner would get a call or an email from a PPC to see what time works best for all parties for them to come out and do a site visit. Historically, the bulk of the work was done on site, preferably during distribution hours, which made it all crazy and wild and not the best time to have a good conversation with our partners. And the PPC would spend anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour and a half or more, depending on each site and what was expected and how the conversation goes. Depending on the site, it could include up to 3 different documents that had to be reviewed and signed. And because of the workload of each PPC being out in the field and conducting these, finding that time to do admin work could be challenging. So it could have been a while before you got a follow-up letter with the outcome of your site visit. So that's the old way. Now we're going to look into what to expect with the new way. The electronic site visit process is a whole team effort. It's not just a PPC and the agency, it's a combined effort. That way, not one person is responsible, and we can have more eyes on a particular site or an agency, and we can have more cross collaboration and include different departments in these site visit processes. So a site visit, a new electronic site visit, will be dispatched, is our new fun word, dispatched from the Community Impact Department. And it will be sent to one of our 3 PPCs. They would then take their received email, because it comes through email, and then forward that on to their agency partner or representative who is responsible for doing the agency's part in the site visit. Change is hard, we get it. So that's the process so far, and we know that we will have to be nimble and flexible to shift as needed to meet the needs of this new process and our partners. Nothing is set in stone, and I think it's important that we remember and realize that this is new, and we are going to have to work out some kinks. I am putting up a danger note. So this is actually for our partner agencies. Part of your responsibility is, instead of answering questions over the phone or in person, you will actually get to complete your part of the site visit electronically. The danger comes with the word submit. Please do not submit any forms, because as soon as you submit, it will generate a report. And we don't want to do that just yet. We want to let the agency site visit be completed first. And yours is just one part of the entire process. The PPC has their part, I have my part, and then the agency has their part. So the person who will be responsible for submitting will be the PPC. Once the on-site part of the site visit is completed, they can hit submit. I know the word is there, but please don't hit submit. Your part will automatically save. All you'll have to do is close the box. So reports, as I mentioned, they are generated automatically upon submission. A report is something that you as an agency or a partner has never received in the past. This is a copy of all of the questions and all of the answers that this site visit included. They might be number answers, they might be sentences. It's just a nice whole copy, not even a snapshot, it's a whole copy of the entire site visit. Not just your part, but what the PPC answers and what we answer internally here at the Community Impact Department. The timeline is a little weird. And so this is just to stay on top of things and to work, because again, we're coming at this at a collaborative effort. No one person is responsible for any part. So in order to keep this in timeline and fluid and within compliance with our overseeing agencies, we are breaking up all the site visits within quarters. So any site visit that is due in 2023 will be broken up into either Q1, which is January through March. Yes, I know it's already passed, but we'll make adjustments. Again, we're going to be flexible here. Q2 is April through June. Q3 is July through September. And then Q4 is October through December. What does that mean for the PPC? And what does that mean for you as the partner or agency that's having the site visit done? That means that a site visit form will be dispatched to the PPC at the beginning of the quarter. They then will send it on to you and schedule a time for them to come out. That whole process of them sending it to you for you to complete your part as the agency and them coming out to do the on-site part of the site visit will have to be done within 3 months. That's all. And then once they do their on-site visit, they'll hit submit, and that report will be generated at the beginning of the next quarter. They will get a new set of site visits that will be dispatched to them for them to schedule and get out. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at what I'm talking about, because right now it's all very vague and kind of hypothetical. All right. So each PPC will get an email that looks kind of like this. This is a dispatch. This is actually my task today for this training purposes.
It's not showing up, Amanda.
Oh, why is this not showing up? Thank you. Let me stop my share. There's always going to be something. Let me reshare. Oh, I see what Zoom has done. You can no longer bring things out of the screens. Thanks, Devin. All right, so here's that email that I was talking about. The PPC will each receive an email that looks like this. It basically tells you the different ways that you can access the form, your site visit form. It can be on a mobile app for an iOS, which is an iPhone or an iPad. It could be from any Android tablet. It can even be done on a phone, but according to Kathleen Passetti, it's not ideal. You can launch it in your browser. So these can be launched on a laptop, on a Chromebook. And then again, it's just showing at the bottom here that it is compatible for both iPhones and Android. So since I am on a computer, I'm going to go ahead and launch in my browser. Maybe. And I'm going to stop my screen. Let me see if I can pull this over first, or if it's going to get, nope, it's angry. Stop my share. Oh, it's like sharing in Teams. All right. You guys should be seeing my fast field form now, right?
Yep.
Okay, thanks, Devin. So the way that we have these forms set up is the agency self-administrative review. The agency's part comes first. These are just basic questions that you answer by just typing in, or you toggle. If it has a red asterisk, it is required and you will not be able to move forward. And if it is required and the PPC might have to get back out to you because again, you are not submitting, this is automatically saving. And just as a reminder, here are some quick little instructions. The agency is responsible for completing this page of the site visit form. Answers and edits are auto-saved. Please do not hit submit. Just go ahead and close the browser. I can't say that enough, so I'm going to constantly be stressing it. So this first part is your general information about your agency. You just answer to what is accurate about your program and your site. For example, this question, what is your client choice model? And if you are a pantry with the Food Bank of the Southern Tier, it could be any or all of these, except for this one that says we do not practice client choice. As you scroll down, there's a section here that says meal information. This is not required for school, for food pantries, only for sites that make and distribute individual meals. So this could be a community meal site, this could be a shelter, it could be a residential, a youth center, any place that is actually making meals and not sending groceries home. That's why these are not required, but it still has to be answered if that is the correct type of agency that you are reviewing. We want to know about participation with food bank programs here, like are you current on your orientation? Do you go to quarterly coalition meetings? Asking questions about sustainability and succession planning. None of these answers are right or wrong. It's just if you say that you do not have a succession plan, the PPC will be reaching back out to work a little bit closer with you to create one, because we do know that it is a critical need for the longevity and the continuation of your program. We have some health and nutrition questions. We love to have feedback. You have a little bit of time to answer this. And I think that's going to be very helpful because when the people, my apologies, let me get rid of that. When the PPC comes out to do their site visit, you are on the spot and you are expected to kind of answer in the moment. This allows you to take your time and think about the question and think about how you want to answer it. Things might pop up that you know, 10 minutes later. And as long as you just keep coming back to this page, you can keep answering. Again, don't hit edit. So you'll hit the arrow button to the next. Actually, you don't even have to hit the arrow button. I'm going to back up. That's all that the agency is responsible for. Okay, it's just this one page. Do not hit submit. But if you're curious as to what the FBST has to answer, you can go ahead and look forward. Just don't answer any of these. So this is the pre-work that the food bank will do on behalf of your program. It's the same stuff that was answered in the paper versions. We're looking at old stats. We're looking at current stats. We're just checking to see when your hours are and things of that nature. This part is the on-site review, the third page. This is what the PPC will be completing on a tablet when they come out to do your site visit. And I have the instructions here in red. So on-site review, food bank is to complete this page on site with a representative of the agency. It does say, please complete this page prior to your on-site visit. That is incorrect. Please complete the other two before you do the on-site visit. Answers and edits are auto-saved, so you can go back and make some changes as long as this has not been submitted yet. Don't hit submit. And then you'll just go to the next page when completed with this part. This is for the PPCs, they would. So they're going to ask about TFAP and your intake and distribution process. Yeah, food safety. Most of this is probably going to be no findings. Okay. So what I did there was, this is a drop down and a new page will pop up. And these are just going through making sure that there is no unpasteurized milk and or milk products being used. There are no dirty eggs that are cracked and kind of gross looking or still have chicken poo on them. Things of that nature. And no findings is always a good thing to see on this part. We'll be checking your cold storage and how many of those are HIPNAP products. We'll ask about your pest control. PPCs will actually do a little bit of typing here and include just basic description of your cold storage and your dry storage areas. Maybe it's wooden shelves or commercial grade racking, something to that effect. If there are any findings for the PPC, they will need to list them all here and what the corrective action plans are. So some findings have to be completed immediately on site in that moment. Others, plan can be put in place. And maybe that is for 3 weeks, you have to submit a photo showing that you are taking your temperatures of your cold storage units and just submit photos saying, yes, we're doing it weekly. Something simple like that. Again, this part is just for meal sites only, not pantries, not school food centers, really any place that's using a working kitchen. Health permit, expiration date, again, those food protection, this is for the PPCs, these are those New York State forms with the teeny tiny writing. It's all right here. Know how you are thawing your food and how you're keeping it warm and sanitizing methods. If one of the answers above or the questions above that has the caret in front of it, if one of those is checked off, this is where you're going to verify that that is a capital equipment need. That's a critical need and it's for capital equipment because of food safety. That is one thing to be on the lookout for are these little asterisks or these little carets. The asterisk, let me go back up real quick. Let me find it here. If it has an asterisk, that is needs to be fixed immediately. And if it has the caret or the arrow, that means it is in a capital equipment finding. So equipment's going to be required. The pantry package screening. So this is for pantries only. This is where the PPC pretends that they are a family of 4 and they're going to go shopping. And so they should be receiving an adequate amount of fruits and vegetables, dairy, non-meat proteins, and meat proteins and grains. Some basic instructions here, which I think I will be updating because I think what we're going to do is throw another option in here for a 5-day package, which is going to be our goal. The minimum required by New York State is 3. There are options for 4 and 6, but I think we're going to look for that 5 right there. So I will get that added. The pantry can go ahead and tell you what they distribute, if they are a 3, 4, 5, or 6 or more, and then the PPC will shop and try to hit those markers. So for a 4-day package, for a family of 4, there should be 27 choices of fruits and vegetables, 18 choices of proteins, meats, non-meat, dairy, and then 9 choices of grains. So that's your goal. And then you just shop right through instead of being on that form where you're writing is super cramped. if there's you just put in a number of how many options, how many cans of spaghetti sauce can be taken by that size family, how many frozen vegetables based on that size, how many dried fruit. You just type it all in and it will automatically add them up for us. So we will know if we're hitting that 27 choice mark. Same thing with our proteins and the same thing for our grains. During the on-site visit, once all of that is completed, the PPC will advance to this page because this is where you're going to sign. You're going to include what the food bank needs to follow up with, what the agency needs to do. Is there going to be a follow-up required, a follow-up visit due to things being out of compliance? Go ahead and put in when the next site visit is. They are typically 2 years out. The acknowledgement. This is for the agency. They have to acknowledge. They're going to do a timestamp. And then they're going to sign. So this is what the signature looks like. We will be providing styluses for the PPCs, and it's just a scribble of a signature for your, oh gosh, this is not going to work. Let me get back out of there. And then this, you will hit save once the signature is signed. This part is still in development, so I wouldn't worry too much about the benefits of membership. We hope to be able to start providing some information based on spending and grants and capacity awards and distribution. And this will be pre-populated before it is sent to the PPC for dispatch. So this might have information in it and it may not, but it is not the requirement or the responsibility of either the PPC or the agency to complete that. That lives with the community impact admin team. Once everything is signed, the PPC can go ahead and hit submit. And if there are things that are missing, this is going to tell you where it is. All right, so it won't let you submit if there are required parts missing. So just go ahead and double check everything. Now I mentioned reports and I really want to show you what that looks like. So I'm going to have to stop my screen again, stop my share and pull up that report and share my screen. Bear with me, you guys are being great. I can share again. Nope, that's not it. That's not it either. Everything. Okay, here we go. And I want to share my screen. And it's this one. Sure. All right. Are you guys seeing a weird looking page that says fast field, a lot of letters and numbers?
Yep.
Perfect. So on the back end, this is what all of these reports and site visits look like coming in. So I want to do a quick review of what a report looks like. I'm going to review this report. It is so in line with all of those questions that we just covered, except it's not on different pages. It's all in one running form. Over here on the right that I want to show you real quick, this is the signature. This is a live signature that shows that it happened. And we also have a data location, so we know where it was signed. And this just allows us to know, to be able to communicate to our oversight agencies like Feeding America, HIPNAP, USDA, that we are completing these site visits on site and we are having our folks sign them. So all of those questions, they're listed here along with all of their answers. And when I was talking about like those questions around food safety and food security, no findings, no findings, no findings. This is good. This is what we want to see. If there is a finding, you'll see like a quick little, this is what happened. I did not do any work here on those benefits of membership, so that's not showing up. So the main form, general information. So here we go. This is all from the agency. Again, if it's a pantry, meal sites are not required, or if it's a pantry, they are not required to complete this part for a meal site. All of your answers are right here. Now we're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. This is your basic report. You will have this. You will finally have a copy of the actual site visit report and form. Before, it was just a letter saying, hey, we came out. It was great. You're in compliance. Now you have a tangible document that is for you to keep and put into your files, and for us to also have electronically filed and saved so that we can compare from last year to this year. So that shopping experience as a family of 4, this is kind of what it looks like. 3 choices, 3 choices, 3 choices. You put in the number, it tells you, and then it tallies. So they are at 18 choices. So much easier than trying to write this all out by hand. Follow-ups are listed right here. There's the acknowledgement. And here are our signatures again. All right. So at this point, I'm going to stop my share of this and do this one more time. Let's see. All right, so that was our closer look. And the sooner we can get the dispatched site visits out to you, the sooner you can get working on them. So that all starts with me, getting it to the PPCs on time. So the sooner, the better. To wrap it all up, I think the biggest takeaway is don't hit submit. Answer your questions to the best of your ability. They're not anything that you haven't answered in the past. There's no, pop quizzes. There's nothing from left field thrown at you. And most importantly, just stay in communication with your PPC, and they'll stay in communication with you, especially in regards to these site visits. Any questions?
Not for me.
Does it all make sense, I guess, is the next thing.
This will be on the grants platform?
This will not. That's a great question, Pat. So you will, let me go ahead and turn my camera on so you can see me. So it will not be on the grants platform, the site visit form. It won't. You will receive it from Devin when it's time for your site visit. I will send it to Devin. Devin will send it to you, and then be in communication of when you need to finish your part and when he's going to come out and do an on-site visit.
So that'll be about 1.5 years, Pat. He just had one recently.
I know. But somebody said because we're a big pantry, we had to have one every year. So
yeah, I think you fell out of the top 5. It's our top 5 biggest ones. I think, isn't that right, Amanda? I think.
Yes. Yeah. So the top 5 largest distributors in our service area get visited once a year. That list does change. So who knows? You might be back in the running next year.
okay. That's fine. I just wondered how long I had to.
If you want Devin to come back out, we can make an arrangement for that.
I'll come hang out with you.
Yeah, we can do this. We can send it out and give him, he can come back out and see that skeleton.
I know. So the report then will be sent to us. We can't go someplace and access it.
No, you can't. So what's going to happen is once it is submitted, the report is generated, and Devin should actually receive the email saying the report is ready. I will not receive that email. And once he does, he can send it on to you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll forward it to you, Pat.
The person who submits receives the report, which is why it should be the PPC.
Right. Okay, just trying to get it all in my brain.
Yep. Any questions, comments, concerns, best practices from the rest of the team? I know Kathleen has test run this a couple of times for me.
Nothing here.
Thanks, Sarah.
It sounds good.
Our goal is to make everything sustainable. So if we have electronic site visit forms and there's copies here, there's copies at your site, Pat, you move on into retirement, whoever is following up as your successor should have access to all previous site visits and see what their patterns are and see if there's been any areas of improvement and things of that nature. It's really about setting folks up for success.
Don't retire though, Pat. We need
Oh
you.
God, no, I did that once. I'm having fun at this.
Okay.
I won't retire.
All right, good.
Yeah.
One
Kathleen.
question. You know those where you had like the 3, 4, 5, 6 sized a days, I mean, like you had 3 meals for 3 days.
Oh, yes, yes.
Is there a way that it could just be put on a sheet and emailed? Because I want to see exactly, we're somewhere between 3 and 5, and I don't know where we are, but that would mean we'd have to change.
Oh,
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we can get those out. We have examples of 3. What did I say? 3,
We've got-
4, and 6.
Yeah.
I still have to recreate the 5, and then the PPCs can send them out to whoever wants to have them as a hard copy to make sure they're always staying within the area that they're trying to meet. Like if you are trying to meet, 5, that way you know what your goals are.
Okay, yeah, that would be real helpful to me.
You make a note to make sure that I get that done this week and sent out to the PPCs. So the 5-day package. I saw Kathleen with her hand up. Can I turn it over to you, Kathleen, for whatever you want to share out?
Yeah, you all got me. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Good. It got me thinking about those printed those reports that we'll email out, and then talking through sites having a system for how they keep them so they don't get stuck in Pat's email, right? Or whomever's, because that's if we're sharing them electronically, and like when Pat asked about, is it accessible on the website? That's a really good point of creating a best practice, and for Sarah, Devin, and I to communicate that from the get-go. You might want to print this out. You might want to have a folder to keep these. I don't know what they're going to look like in terms of how long the reports are going to be, but that'll be something for us to sort out, right? And where will that report on our end will live in that something that you shared, that screen that you shared, right, Amanda? Like you'll have
So,
that somewhere.
I can access it there, but actually in actuality, we will be saving it to SharePoint. And I wanted to talk
Okay.
offline with the team about actually saving it to the agency's grant management platform account,
Ah, okay.
where everything is already at.
So
Yeah.
we could go there and look at the report for certain.
So
that's
we still
great.
have to work out the kinks on that one, but we can always go backwards and resubmit them. So for right now, they will be sent out electronically in your email with the hopes of a new process where it will be added into the grants management platform.
Great. Good thinking. Yeah.
It's just not there yet. It will be.
No.
I agree with Kathleen, because you had said, like, if I retired and somebody else could look back and see. I don't care how much we try, we still have to have a paper copy somewhere.
Yeah. And
Or
turnover is
thumb drive.
hard. Change is hard. And we are learning from everyone externally and internally about lost historical knowledge
Yes,
and putting processes in place so that that historical knowledge can be shared going forward. And right now, the best place that we have for internally and externally in regards to our partners and agencies is the grants management platform. We just don't have it set up yet for those reports to get put in there. And so when you do retire, since we started in that process, all of your HIPNAP grants, all of your food grants, all of your equipment grants, it's all right there,
that'll be
along
good.
with your 501c3.
Right. When I was looking at a bunch of stuff, of old stuff at the pantry, I discovered so much pantry history that even people who had been there since the beginning didn't know. So I've been sharing with volunteers, so I'm sort of getting a historical timeline. They didn't know that there was once 2 pantries in Canada.
Yeah.
Mm.
Change change happens. It's just how are we going to move forward? And I did not know about the 2 pantries either.
Yeah.
All right. So any last questions about the site visit forms, the process, the timeline? Who's responsible
I
for
guess-
what?
With Pat right there, I thought this would be a good moment to ask you, Pat. So like when Devin processed the site visit with you and sends you the follow-up letter, right? Because that's all we're sending at this point is the follow-up letter. You did great. There's this thing to improve, or everything's in great shape.
Mhm.
What is the process for you all, that you do print that out and put it in a folder, or do you just keep it in an email?
Well, I have it in I save everything everywhere. It's in an email.
Okay.
Under my, food bank stuff. I'm in my email site, but I also copy it and stuff it on my own computer then put it on a thumb drive. But yeah, I print it
Well-
out because Nancy Hayner, who has a ton of stuff to do, is very organized. And if she makes 1 copy, she makes 3.
Now it'll be way
Either for
easier because it'll all
site
be in
visit.
one spot for everything. So
Yeah. The actual paper documents she keeps in her office. So
Great.
yeah. I blue screened the computer once and found out the world didn't come to an end, so.
yeah, and by the time your next site visit comes around, Pat, it'll even more kinks will be worked out. So
I'm looking
know.
forward to it.
it should be easier now, especially on the back end. Not that it was ever hard actually doing the site visit, but it's all the paperwork
Right, it
afterward.
was
That's,
labor intensive.
yeah,
It was, contributing to your wrist issues and your.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Well, we're hoping that this builds up capacity within the PPCs to continue doing the really cool and awesome work that they're doing out in the field, and building those relationships with all of our partners and our agencies, and also building up capacity for you all, our partners and such, because instead of wasting time answering questions that could have been done earlier, you guys can have more in-depth conversations and learn more from each other. So hopefully this will be a win-win going forward, and I'm leaning on the 3 PPCs to help us work out these kinks as soon as possible. But it's really, again, we got to be flexible. We're all learning, and I am very hopeful and optimistic that this is going to be a great new change. All right.
I'm sorry we had our visit already.
Like I said, if you want Devin, come back out.
soon enough.
He's always welcome.
Thank
All
you.
right. If there are no other questions, I'm going to go ahead and let everybody have their time back. And if questions do pop up, feel free to reach out at any time and we can work through it. For the PPCs, be on the lookout for site visits being dispatched and your Asana tasks being updated. Oh, and stop in anytime to get your tablet. I'm going to need your assistance to get you into your accounts. All right?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Thanks so much, everyone. And I
Have a
will
good one.
Thanks.
see
Yeah.
everybody when I see you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.